Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening, all of you wonderful people. It's Max Ophelia with another great day where I am blessed and highly favored. Man, it's Monday. I'm so excited for Monday. And we got a new topic this week. That is family. We are going to be talking about family and how family has such a huge impact on our lives, and how we as men and as new fathers and as new husbands, we have such a huge role. We have a huge role in our family, and today we're going to be diving in to a little bit of that. So just a quick recap. We're going to be taking these next couple of weeks, and we're going to be going through the 5 pillars of a disciplined disciple, and that is faith, family, fellowship, fitness, and focus. We're going to be taking a deep dive into all of these things, and we're going to be seeing what all these have to offer, what all we can really gain from these things, and how we can use these things to better our lives and be disciplined disciples. So today, again, we're talking about family, and we're talking really about, I can speak from a husband perspective, I can speak from a father perspective, and I can also speak with a little bit of experience with, being away from your family, and also, how family can really support you in those times where, we feel like, as especially men, we feel like we are in a crunch time, or in a time where we are having to grind our gears a little bit and really dig deep into a situation, or into, starting a new habit, or really diving deep into what we want to do with our careers. Our families are such big motivators and are such big key parts of, getting us through it. And so I'll tell you a little bit about what really, when family really started to play and it's always been a huge role, but when it really started to dawn on me, the impact that family has. So, like I had mentioned before, I served 4 years in the United States Navy. And during that time, I went on my 9.5 month deployment. Now, a key factor of that was I was married when I went on that deployment. I was married about a year prior to that. And, being married and going on a deployment is very tough. It is a test for you and your spouse. And if you've got kids, it's really, you come back and your kids don't even look the same. 9 months, really, there's a lot of change in your kids, especially. And, there's a lot of growing that you have done, with your spouse. You've each individually grown a lot because, again, being apart is a big experience. It's a new experience, and it's something where you're isolated, and the intention is to grow, and the intention is to really dig deep inside. And at least that's how I approached it. Was, okay, I'm going to use this opportunity to really dive deep into, what I want to do with my career, what I want to do with my life. And is there anything that I can pick up on habit wise that is going to help me develop, and is going to help me become a better man and a better husband and a better father? I mean, is there anything that I can really do to be a better version of myself during this time where I have to focus on myself and have time to focus on, me? And a lot of people don't experience full isolation like I did on a deployment, especially in a Navy deployment. We're out on the water, and it's not as easy to contact home, as it would be like if I were to say traveling back in the States, where I could just pick up the phone and call. Well, honestly, out to sea, it's not as easy. It's not as, convenient to be able to go and to, shoot a text, take out my phone, shoot a text to my wife, or to pick up the phone and FaceTime her. We really didn't have that option. It was a true isolation, and you had to, really find a way to communicate in a way where it wasn't immediate. In today's day and age, we're so quick and immediate, and we need it now, where that wasn't an option for me at the time. And, I like I said, I had gone on my 9.5 month deployment. I remember walking to the ship, standing next to it, really not even able to comprehend how I was going to do 9.5 months away from my wife. How was I going to, and even at the time, I didn't know it was going to be 9.5 months. It ended up being extended, turning into 9.5 months. It was really supposed to be 6. It was supposed to be 6 months that I was going to be away, which still, by the way, is a long time. And I was, really, it was I really was not comprehending how I was going to be able to do that, because it was so far in the future, like 6 months. I've never done anything like that. The furthest, longest I've been away from family was 2 months, and that was for boot camp. And without anytime I went in complete isolation was boot camp, which was 2 months. But we're talking, I mean, triple that. I mean, you know what I'm saying? Like it was a while, and so I really had a hard time, you know, when I was the lead up to it. The lead up was a difficult time to really comprehend how I was going to do it. But I knew this. I knew, as like I said, when I was walking up to the ship, I was looking to comprehend how I was going to do it. But also I was asking myself, am I going to use this as an opportunity? Am I going to use this as an opportunity to really develop into who I wanted to be and who I was going to be, to be the best version of myself for my wife? And was I going to become a better person? And was I going to grow my relationship with God? And I was going to walk with Him through this 9.5 months and really lean on Him and ask Him for guidance and for help during this time. And that's exactly what I did. I said, God, I don't know how I'm going to do this. I have no idea how I'm going to be able to, you know, spend these next 9.5 months away from my wife and away from everything that I know and go overseas to a place I've never even seen before and experienced. How am I going to do that alone, and be able to enjoy it? And I thank goodness He was like, I got you. I got you. I'm going to walk with you. We're going to take this time. We're going to help you to grow. And that's exactly what happened. I went on this deployment. I found a mentor, and he helped me to develop into the person that I wanted to be. And honestly, I stayed in prayer. I stayed in prayer with God. I said, just constantly, God, continue to walk with me and help me through this. It was one of the most difficult times of my life where I was really having to, dig deep, and I was having to really find true inner peace and saying, this situation is for a reason. It's supposed to help me, and it is going to make me a better man and a better husband to my wife. So, all you fathers out there who are going through a time where maybe you're traveling on the road, or maybe you're doing a new experience where you're not able to spend as much time with your family because you're having to spend majority of that time, away from them. I would like to challenge you to say, hey, maybe use this as an opportunity to see where God is wanting you to go, or see if He's wanting to develop you into the man or the husband or the father that He's calling you to be. And then also reflect. Reflect. I tell you this, I recently was talking to a buddy of mine who has just started a new job where they have to travel a lot. And, we're in conversation talking about how it is a tough situation happening to leave home, which he's always been home. He's never had to travel. He's never had to travel out of state and be gone for a length amount of time, or a specific amount of time. Never had to do that before. He's always been home every night. He's been home with his wife and his kids. And now that he is on the road, he is telling me that he is appreciating the time that he does have with them. And he is really, he's really reflecting when he's on the road. And he says, you know what, maybe instead of playing on my phone in the evenings, maybe I should spend more time with my kids and my wife. Or maybe instead of, outside working on something, spending hours on end doing something that I like, whether it be working on cars, building a shed out back, or maybe, organizing things outside. Maybe I should spend some time with my family and really, cherish that time, because you don't realize how valuable that is. I mean, before you know it, your kids are going to be growing up. They're going to be graduating high school, going off to college, and that time's going to be gone. I mean, literally, it happens within a blink of an eye. And that moment that you have with them, and those times that you have with them, truly, you want to cherish those, because before you know it, they're going to be gone, and you're not going to be able to get those back. God is saying, hey, I want you to slow down, and I want you to take this time right now to enjoy to enjoy what you have, what you currently have. Not with, us as fathers and as men and as husbands, we are so focused on and this is truly, motivating. It's like, hey, where do I need to go to provide for my family? How do I make the most money to be financially stable? Or how do I make my career to where I can pass on generational wealth? We get so focused on how do we do that, we forget to even be in the moment, because we start planning so much for the future that we get stuck in that. We get stuck in planning the future and going in all of these different directions to find out how we need to get to that end goal, when God is just simply saying, hey, If you were to just listen to me, I got tomorrow, I got all that, I got your future, I got your goal, I'm going to take care of your family, I'm going to take care of you even now, I'm going to take care of all of that. But it's up to you to enjoy that moment and that time that you have with your family. It is up to you to really cherish all that. I mean, because it's going to be gone. It's going to be gone. I heard something that said lost time can never be found. That is so true. That is so true. You're not going to be able to go back in time to when your kids were 2 years old. You're not going to be able to go back to that time that your kid said his first word. You're not going to be able to go back to that time where your kid started walking first. And those cherishable moments where you even if it's that you're on your phone and you're missing it, right? We think that we have to just be gone. No, I'm talking about we can be there but not actually there, right? We could be in the room but not actually be in the headspace. We even us, I call us, our ADHDers, or maybe the guys who have a million thoughts a minute and are just constantly spinning and going, and we have so many different ideas. If you're not in the room and if you're not, you're there physically, but you're not there mentally. If you're not there checked into the room and being there with your family, then you're not giving them that time, and you're going to look back. Or there's so many things that you want to do with your kids, and you don't want to reach a point in time, and a specific day, and go, man, I achieved my goals, and I'm rich and successful, and I've done everything that I wanted to do, but I don't remember my kids doing these things. I don't remember my kids' first baseball game, or I don't remember my kids' first softball game, or I don't remember when they said their first word, or I wasn't there when they lost their first tooth. You want to make sure that you're living in the moment with your family. You want to make sure that you're enjoying that time, because it's never going to come back to you, right? Right? And sometimes what God will do is he will shift your perspective. I was talking to a man about this past weekend, and we were talking about, why does God throw haymakers in our lives? Or, sometimes it's not even about God throwing them. It's just about life throwing those haymakers and those big knockout punches, to where it literally will knock you. And maybe there's a couple of knockout punches to where you're just like, man, it seems like every time I get back up, something comes back in and hits me even harder. Well, I tell you this. God simply told me to tell you that is not to keep you down, but simply to shift your perspective. It is to shift your perspective. And if you will take that opportunity to learn, and take that opportunity to say, hey, you know what? What could I learn from this? I know that God has me in this situation for a reason. What could I gain from this situation? What could I see that I didn't see before, but can use this situation to now see? It is a simple shift of perspective. And that is your choice. That is your opportunity. You are given that choice and that opportunity to shift your perspective, and then to now see what God is wanting you to see. And what that's going to do is that's going to help you align with his purpose and his mission. That is what he is here to do. He is going to align you with his mission by giving you opportunities to shift your perspective, right? Because we're all given these opportunities. We are all given, we all go through different walks of life, and we all have our haymaker punches that come in, and that, can either knock you down, or you can gain a lot of knowledge and a lot of wisdom, and find peace in those moments, and just say, God, I know that you have me in this situation. Is there something that you would like me to see? I pray for the wisdom that you help me to see it. So I'm going to pray for you guys today. Dear Heavenly Father, I thank you for this day. I thank you for every person that is watching this video, Father. I know that you have them here for a reason. I know that you have them listening to this for a reason, Father. And I pray that you help them to see the perspective shift that you're wanting them to see. Maybe they're going through a situation now that is supposed to shift their perspective, and something that is going to help them. You're putting them in a situation to help them, not to harm them, but to help them. Or even life is giving them a situation, and you are saying, hey, if you will just shift your perspective and see it in a way that is going to help you to gain wisdom, and know that it's not to harm you, but to help you. Because you do all things for good. You are in all situations, and you are in control, Father. I thank you for giving us this beautiful Monday, and I love you, and I thank you Everyone said, amen. Hey, guys, I appreciate you tuning in today. We're going to continue the rest of this week with the word family. I think it's so important, and it's such a huge, crucial part in our lives because, family is so motivating. It's one of those really deep topics that we can get into and we can dive deep into. I hope you all have a better than great kind of day today. Like I said, it's Maxabillion, and I love each and every one of you. I appreciate you. And thank God it's Monday, baby.
Subscribe for more content